Hi, I'm Travis Weisbrod from St. Christopher's Addiction Wellness Center. I am here in Denver, Colorado with Zach Devine, who is an alumni of our program. So Zach, why don't you tell us how long ago you came through St. Chris?
So I went through St. Chris pretty much 9.5 years ago, been sober for 9.5 years, was at St. Chris for the entirety of the program, and I lived in sober living for 6 months after, so completed the program from entry to graduation 6 months, then was in sober living for 6 more months, pretty much 7 more months, and left it 13 months sober after I picked up a year and actually moved out and stayed in Baton Rouge for about 5 years after, so yeah.
So what a lot of people don't know is that Zach and I went through treatment together in 2011. We were in treatment pretty much for the whole duration of our treatment. We were in treatment together. We lived together for some time after that as roommates, and I consider Zach one of my best friends. I was the best man in Zach's wedding. He's gonna be in my wedding in a few months, and it's just really cool to be able to have, you know, a friend like that, you know, 10 years later we're still real close, and you know, here he is in a completely different state, and I can just come pick up where I'm at, come stay at his house here in Denver, and I'm able to, you know, we're gonna go backpacking this weekend, and I've done this a few times. Zach's lived in, you know, Atlanta, Georgia, and Washington, D.C., and I've been able to go to those places and have this awesome support group and the support network. And I can do that outside of obviously of just Zach. I have other friends that I met through St. Chris, back home in California, in other states in the South and in the North, that if I, you know, want to go there, I have this great support group of people that like are active and like to do things and that are also sober, and that's really cool to have that, and it's just super unique and just long-lasting relationship. And I don't know what your experience has been, but why don't you fill us in a little bit about that?
So yeah, we weren't, I wouldn't say friends, right? When we first got into treatment together, we weren't, you know, we were cordial in primary and in extended care, but we really kind of, it took the entirety of the program to really like click and be like, oh yeah, this dude's gonna be like one of my long-term best friends moving forward. And I'm grateful for that. And I think that speaks to the program that St. Chris has is, you know, it's a relation-based, community-based treatment that allows you to establish relationships with people that are gonna extend well beyond treatment, right? I mean, you're not just gonna be like, all right, I graduated, see you guys later. These are people you're gonna call for however long you choose to, and stay in touch and have those relationships. And yeah, I mean, you're by far one of my best friends that I've made, and I look back on the phases of my life, there's all sorts of people that I've made friends with along the way, and they come and go, but guys like you, guys like Cody, you know, half the guys I went through treatment with or came right behind me that I made friends with, and in the AA community, I still talk to on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and it's just, it's such an important part of my life that normally, normal relationships I don't think carry that same weight. So I'm super grateful for that, both what St. Chris and the recovery community at large has done for me. So I'm glad you're here. So it's been good to do this.